So today we are going to talk about web performance mastery. I will start with introducing myself for those who don't know me. I am Mortaza. I am a
Welcome to those who have joined here physically for the Tech Talk, and warm welcome to all those who have joined online remotely. I would like to start by just speaking about the previous Tech Talk. In the previous Tech Talk, we started with speaking about some some technology related to micro frontend, and on the other hand, we also talked about DevSecOps. And this time, we will continue along the lines of development, and we'll be talking about web performance and web performance metrics and learning more about it during this Tech Talk. With that said, I will quickly just present today's speaker, which is Mortaza. He'll be talking about web performance mastery. And without any further waiting, I'd like to invite Mortaza to continue with his talk. Please.
Thank you, Drew. Hello, everyone. I will share my presentation here. Cool. I hope you see it.
Yes.
So, yeah, perfect. So today we are going to talk about web performance mastery, or specifically web performance in front-end and back-end area. So I will start with introducing myself for those who don't know me. I am Mortaza. I am a front-end competence lead at Soltia. I am a senior front-end engineer consultant at H&M. And also sometimes, if I have the time, I am mentor at ADP Least. So that's me. Let's go to the next slide. I would like to ask you to join this Menti thing. You can either scan the code or open menti.com and also enter the code that you see. Please let me know when you're joining that. We will have fun thing, so. Yeah, cool. Okay, already we have answers here. Waiting few seconds. Do you want the code?
You see it?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you can see it there.
I'm not the underwear.
Yeah, I think all the programmers are like night owls, so we prefer to do coding and stuff there. Cool. I think you already submitted your answers, so cool. So we have one more question, and that is related to working from home. Nice one. I think all of us have these excuses to just ignore the stand-ups. Cool. All interesting. Yeah. I usually sometimes I say like I was in another meeting that was wrong. So cool. Perfect. Let's come back to the presentation. So let's talk about the importance of the web performance. In these days, we have the competition really high. We need to have a performant websites or application or anything related to the tech because of few different aspects. One of the real result that we will have after like having good website or platform in general is user satisfaction and also retention, which is really important for the businesses. And also if we have a good and also like a very performant website, we will have advantage in competitive advantage. So that is really important because like imagine we have a shop, online shop in the like fashion industry. We have a lot of good competitors and we need to fight with them actually to have better ranking, better retention, better conversation rate, everything related to that. So one big more important thing is cost saving, because imagine like you have a website with like, I don't know, maybe 1 million visitors per month or per week, and on average it takes something like 3 seconds to load the web page. So we are having like not really good load time, and then we need to pay for that usage on the cloud or on our servers. So that is something like if we can improve our page or our website, we will reduce the cost, and this is one of the main goals for every business. Like nowadays it's a mandatory thing, and they are like fighting with all the developers to just reduce the cost of like usage, the cloud, billing, the pipelines, everything like that. And last but not least is important to have higher conversion rate. And what that does mean, like conversion rate is really important for business. It's a marketing term, but I have an example here. Like consider that you have an online clothing store and you have 5,000 visitors per month and only 100 of them are buying something on your store. So we can calculate it. The formula is really simple. The conversion rate is a number of conversions, which means like 5,000 people, visitors, divided by number of visitors and also multiplied by 100, which in our case is only 2%. In real scenarios, it's not a good thing. If you have like only 2% of conversion rate, you will have a lot of meetings with marketing teams because it's not good at all. So we talked about conversion rate. We have another term which is bounce rate. Bounce rate means like when you have a platform, a user or someone enter your platform or your website but leaves without anything. That is bounce rate. This is just a simple example. It's not real. You will not have like 98 of bounce rate, because in this case you need to just shut it down and go home and not do that business anymore. But let's think that you still have that 5,000 visitors per month and also 4,900 are leaving the site with their money in the pocket. You don't want that at all. You need to make your website or store interesting for everyone that enters your store. Still, we are not jumping to the technical parts. I'm trying to share a few case studies with you because when I was a junior front-end developer, I heard that performance is really important, but I didn't trust that word because I thought it's just a thing. So this is the real case study from BBC, and also I have a few more, but BBC receives an average of 207 million users per month, and on every second delay in loading the page, they are losing something around 20 million, and that is a big number. And consider, like, if that delay is 3 seconds, they will lose 62 million users per month. And that is something that we as a developers, we need to act on and improve it to just have the business growing, and also we get paid. Also, there is another fact that is really important, and it's shared by Amazon, that they have calculated that just 1 second of delay in the page load time costs them $1.6 billion, and that is huge number. Like, it's you can improve it, and you have that money back in the business each year. Also, I have another thing that is really interesting, and it's shared by Google, and that is related to, I think that was intentional. They wanted to try and shrink their cloud resources to reduce the cost, and they slowed down the search result, and that thing was really bad for them. They reverted it really soon after just few days, and that cost them 8 million searches per day are missing. And they consider that if they are losing 8 million searches per day, how much of revenue they will lose per month, because they are advertising everywhere on the search pages. So that is something really interesting to understand and bear in mind to just act on it. So now it's the technical part. I will start with the backend optimization. I know that the presentation was about frontend, but I couldn't just ignore the backend, because one of the main things that every time we are talking about optimization, we talk about is the backend, because frontend is not alone in this journey. You need to sync backend and frontend, and also another experts like the cloud professionals everywhere. So we have few items here, as you can see. I hope you can see it. Okay, cool. And it's the first item is server optimization. Let's consider that you have one store with 100 million user per month. Let's consider like that. If you put small resources on that server, you will not get good optimized performant websites, and you need to calculate the right needed resources per your platform or your website. So that is not a simple thing, because you need also to consider reducing the cost and also having performant websites. That is not, you need to tweak this a lot to have a good thing here. Another part is the caching. I think all of you have heard the caching term. Caching is not only one technique on there. You need to do a lot of different solutions for it. But one of the main caching strategy is think about that we have one API that returns the data for our homepage, and homepage is one of the pages that is we have a lot of traffic there. So when you hit that API, you will have the response time of something like 200 milliseconds or something. But when you add another cache layer in front of the front end and the back end, you don't do the database query again. So you have something in mind that we can improve it by adding only one layer of caching, and that can maybe bring like 50 milliseconds per API call or response time. That is another thing. And one big thing again is database tuning. When you are working with databases, you need to consider that when you call an API, you need to search into the database and return the data. So if you don't have like indexing, you cannot search really fast. And this is why like I think in all of the databases, you have this indexing option, and you usually put it on like IDs, name, or something like is relevant to your business or your platform. You have a lot of other options to consider, like query optimizations, connection pooling, or database sharding. That is like, let's consider that you have a campaign, and you are going to go live with that campaign like on Friday or some day at the week. So you need to have this horizontal scaling for your database, because when we are talking about like querying a database, you cannot do it with one single database. You have a lot of requests. You need to do something like load balancer stuff, but in the database terms. We have one really famous term, and it's CDN, or Content Delivery Network. CDN is really important. Like let's have an example there. Like think about that. I have a website that hosts images, and I'm storing those images in Europe. And when someone like from Sydney or somewhere trying to hit that image, the network latency, you need to consider it, because this is how the internet works. You need to pass different regions and then get the image and then return it back. That is not good. You need to like have CDNs on different points on the globe, and you will have a lot of performance improvement there. So that is really important, and you need to consider it. And nowadays it's a mandatory thing for everything, not only images. It's on even like files, everything. We have microservices that there is a lot of discussions happening around it. Like, is it something good to use microservices, or we need to like stick to the monolithic architecture? But microservices is much, in my opinion, is really important based on the different scenarios. But with microservices, you can have really performant. When I said like we have campaigns, consider that we have only one backend pod or system that is responding to that request that coming from everywhere. And now we need to like distribute that traffic between different pods, or I'm saying pod because nowadays we're using Kubernetes pods. So we need to distribute that traffic to get much better responses in APIs. There is another thing like is sometimes we just ignore it, but believe me, it's really important, and that is algorithm complexity. I can give you an example regarding that, and consider that we have one API which returns all the users that we have, and we are using inefficient search algorithm. So when we are searching for that users, we are getting a lot of data. We need to map it like somehow, and then return it to the client. Here, if we are not using right algorithm, you will see that differences in real scenario. And another thing that we need to consider is time to first byte. I will show you this metric, because sometimes you just say that TTFP is one of the core web vitals, but it's not. It's something related to the server, and the idea is like when we are hitting that API or like the web page, when we are getting the first byte from the server, or when the server returns the data to us. So that is also important. But we have another topic is I can have like per item that you see I can have another talk, because it's a huge things like you need to consider for each one of this. But I'm just saying like option by option. So the last thing that now I want to talk about the backend optimization is the HTTP persistent connection, or we say it keep alive. I have another presentation that another slide about this, and this is really important because when we are talking about keep alive, let's think about the off and on situation, and we first discuss the off. Like, consider that a web page which wants to return the data from the server. The data can be HTML, can be like images, CSS, JavaScript files, everything. When we are hitting that web page, okay, you see it. We send a TCP handshake, like we are sending from our web page to the server. Like here, I'm just writing as a hello, and we are trying to open the connection. When we open the connection, the server said, okay, hi, and then I say I need the index.php file or index.html file. And then the server returns that to me. And then I say, I need the CSS file. And then again, we are opening another TCP connection. That is really, really bad practice, because you sending the request again and again, and that causes the delay or latency on the server and the client. So we have this approach or strategy or solution, I don't know what it's called, but is like keep alive on. When we are sending the first TCP connection to the server, we say hello, and the server say hi, and then when you send the first request and the second request, your connection pool is still open, and you will have a really performant response between the client and the server. You can use this command that I am showing you here, and here you see that we are sending 50 connection or 50 requests to this website, and also 5 of them are concurrent, to just see like how we are responding. I will show you. I hope you see it. Okay, cool. Let's consider first google.com. We are sending our request. You see like here the keep alive request is 50. That is what we wanted. But here, if I do our website, like I think it's an easy fix, we can fix it. But when we're sending that, you will see that keep alive returns 0, and that is because we haven't enabled or toggled on this flag between our client or our server. So you see it, that is 0. It's not that big, like how say, it's not that big of a deal right now, but it's something like we can improve it to have better responses. Cool. Any question so far? Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
not clear the difference between off and on.
Yeah. Here you see that when you are sending your first request, you open another connection to the server, and that like reduce your server capacity to respond to another person from another machine. So it's like consider it like a street. You want to go there, but you just keep getting whole street for you, and that street cannot handle anyone else. But then you are walking that street, okay? So you need to complete your path or your route, anything, and then another one can jump to that street. So when it's off, you will block the resources of the server. When it's on, you can like take small portion of that street and let others also join you and like go on that road. Cool. Let's jump to the front-end optimization, which I know it's really interesting nowadays. We have code splitting, which is like we have a React application and we, how can I say it? Okay, let's think about this. Like you have three different pages on your React app, and you just going to the home page of the React. So it's not logical to load all of that bundle file or all of that code, because it's not important for you, because you haven't seen the About Us page, and we have something else in that page, and we don't want to see it now. So we do code splitting and also lazy loading. Lazy loading term is a common React.js thing and also HTML related term. So when we are talking about lazy loading in React, we are talking about like loading that JS file or that script based on the route. But when we are talking about lazy loading in HTML, we are talking about how we can defer a CSS file or JS file or anything. We have another term that is really important when you are working on optimization, and that is tree shaking. Tree shaking means you ignore the dead blocks or dead codes. For instance, you have one big main.js file that has like 1000 lines of code, but only you are using 100 of that. So it's not logical to have those functions that is not being used in your code. So with tree shaking approach or strategy, we are removing those unused codes from our final bundle. We have optimization assets. It's really a big topic. I'm just adding that here. And also caching. Caching also here means like when your user opens your web page, you load like the CSS, the JavaScript files and everything, and you can put extra header on your files, and then you will have like cached file in your client storage, and that will be there until you change that file, and then the term is you purging that cache thing, and you will send a new file to your customers. Let me drink something. Any question so far? Okay, cool. I talked about Core Web Vitals. I mentioned that at the beginning of the talk. Core Web Vitals is something from Google. It's they introduced it, I think, like 10 years ago, something. And they are measuring different metrics that shows that your website is good or is not good. One of the main metrics is LCP, or largest contentful paint. That means that consider that you are visiting google.com, and in Google you have one big logo in the center of the page. That should be the LCP of that page, because Google doesn't have any visual element there. So for Google LCP, the score should be less than 2.5 seconds to take time to load that image. Otherwise, if it's in range between like 2.5 seconds or 4 seconds, you need improvements in that metric. If it's more than that, you need to like consider it again and like talk about it with your design team or anyone who is responsible for that. We have another term or another metric called FID, or first input delay, and that is the what is called that when you open the page, you will see like what is the delay between like when you are requesting that page until you getting that. And the good score of FID is less than 100 milliseconds. And if that is not in the range, you need to improve it. But the FID is gonna be replaced really soon. On 12th of March, we will have NIP, or interaction to next paint, instead of FID. And that is, I will show an example here. If you see on your left hand side, you have this poor responsiveness, because when you click on that accordion title or accordion header, you don't see it really smooth. And that is something like bad in your UX. You need to have good responsiveness to have like better new result from Google. So if you see on your right hand side that when you click on that header or accordion thing, you will just see it smooth, and that is something new, and we will hear about this really soon. We have another thing called CLS, or cumulative layout shifts. It's really important, and I will show you an example for this. And the good point for the CLS is the time of shifting the layouts in your page. So if you want to have a good score here, you need to have less layout shifts. Consider this like this is an like order confirmation page, and you have like selected 56 items, and you want to click on no, go back. I want to remove like all of them or just keep one. When I want to click on no, go back, there is an ad that shows up here. So you are clicking on submitting the order that is not that something you wanted to do, and now it's too late. You cannot do that. You need to talk to the customer service or something. So the CLS means you should not have layout shifts in your web page, and that is really important nowadays. So we have a lot of techniques to improve these core web vitals. One of them is optimizing the images and videos, minimizing render blocking resources, and also prioritizing critical resources. And for each of these, you can have like for the first item, we can use compression techniques. Like nowadays for the web, it's suggested to use WebP images instead of PNG or JPEG or GIF or anything. Or if you are like having a page with videos, it's really suggested to compress that file with new codecs like X2265 that is new. You will not lose that much of quality of the video, but you will have much less in file size. You can add responsive images, like in HTML you can add this src set or source set, and the browser will automatically load the correct image based on this. You can add your media queries and then say, like, for mobile, please just import the smallest image that I am defining here, and that is really important. Or like lazy loading. Lazy loading means like you can you have a big image or anything related to that in your web page, and then you say, I don't want to load that until it's visible in the viewport. So you will lazy loading that. And like, think about like a video, you don't want to see that video if it's not in the viewport. Or like okay, I think I jumped. Yeah, here, minimizing render blocking resources. For instance, you have 4 big JavaScript files that is one of them are important is important only when you are loading the page, and the rest are important when you like doing client side in the bottom of the page. So you don't need to load those at the first second or 2 seconds, the first 2. So you defer that loading until you reach that stage. Or another thing that is really important is CSS and JavaScript minification, which means when we are building our like React or Next.js or anything, when we are building that, we are combining different files, different resources into 1 or 2 or few small bundles, and then we will have a lot of white spaces in the file, and that white space is something bad for us. We do the minification and we are replacing like a big class name to just X like something, and that is really good. And also we have one critical rendering path optimization, which called ATF, or above the fold, and that is like, consider that you open your web page and you have the first viewport visible, and you inject another CSS file that is only related to the few elements that you are seeing. So we are not loading even the whole CSS files now. We are only loading that specific styles for that elements that visible at the first. And also we have a lot of more techniques like HTTP2 optimization. When we were talking about like the TCP connection and keep alive, we can use or utilize HTTP2 optimization, which is a new standard, or new standard of the web, and it's introduced I think 6-7 years ago, and it's been using from that date. So you can like do that. And also related to the styles, you can use font loading strategies. Like consider that you have a web page which has custom unique font, and that is not critical at the first load. We need to show the page first and then apply our custom font to that. So we first considering using the system font, which is already on the user's machine, and then when it's the right time, we just load our custom font. Last but not least is the monitoring stage of like having a web page or a web application, and that is really important when it comes to like when we are implementing something. Maybe we don't know that what is happening in future. So maybe someone do something that is not efficient. We don't know. We need to like keep this monitoring every time and understand the changes. And if there is a bad thing happening, we need to act on it and fix that issue. For the monitoring stage, it's really suggested to use Grafana and Prometheus. to monitor our resources. Like I have, unfortunately, I cannot show you the real dashboard of our websites, but this is a sample one, which you can see like how much memory or CPU you are using, how much requests you are getting on your server, or this is really important thing, that is how much it takes to fully load the page. So when like you can see a norm after a while, and then you see like if it goes for like, for instance, more than 4 seconds, like you are hitting this, you need to go and see what is happening. So you can have logs, you can have everything related to how we can monitor it. So this is one of the things that sometimes we ignore it, to be honest, but this is really important. I have so questions. This is the last slide, but before going to like walk through the metrics that I talked about in visual, please ask if you have any question. Yep.
I can start. I was wondering, last time when we talked about DevSecOps, and
Yeah.
there was a strategy that we were talking about, right-left shift,
Yeah.
where we take security as a
Yeah.
part of development
Yeah.
and do it. Is there something similar in optimization, web performance optimization?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We have this stage in our whole pipelines. Like you need to introduce the lighthouse test
Yeah.
before going live. This is one of the important stage nowadays. You should implement that, and when there is a PR merging to your main branch, you need to verify that it is okay.
Okay.
And so this is something that we have implemented.
So there are tools that you can integrate
Yeah,
with your
you have something called Lighthouse that I think it's from Google.
Yeah.
You can see it in your developer tools, exactly, but it's on the cloud.
Okay.
So you can use that in your pipelines. Yeah.
That's right.
Any more question? Cool. So let's I think let's ask here if online folks, do you have any question, or should we?
You can speak to-
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. I was checking my face.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we have a chat. Okay, Nemo. I will tell you later this. Okay, cool. So when it comes to like measuring the performance, you can use this platform called PageSpeed Insights, and you can like share or paste your URL, and then you will have the results. The core web vitals that I talked about are here. You can see if you can see the state, if it's passed or it's failed. Like I am testing Zalando and also Adidas PDPs, and you can see that Zalando is passing the core web vital assessments because they have really good like approaches when it comes to the core web vital. So you see, like if the LCP is less than that number that we took, which is 2.5 seconds, you are in the green line. FID will be replaced next month with this new INP, and then the CLS also good. But when we are checking Adidas, we are seeing like the LCP is above 2.5 seconds. Yeah, the FCP also is not that good, but it's okay. But if you see that it's failed based on Google metrics, so they need to action on that. So here, if you scroll, you can see different areas of scores, like the performance. Let's go back here. Performance of Zalando is not that good, despite having good core web vitals. So they when you scroll down, you see that Google suggesting to how we can fix that issues. So like they are not using proper size images. So they can, if they change this big shoe image with smaller version, potentially they are saving 14 kilobyte, and that gonna be really good if they can do all of this. So you can also see the past audits, like they are minifying the CSS, minifying JavaScripts, and using right video formats, and also they have right meta tags. We have accessibility point, we have best practices point, and also SEO, which is really important factor for Google nowadays. So as I mentioned, you can monitor or measure every website that you have using this platform, or also you can do it on your local, but remember that on your local is not really accurate, because each laptop has different resources, so you cannot rely on that. But if you want to, as Drew asked, when you want to have one single source of truth for your performance, you need to use the cloud version, which is some kind of this. I think that's all that I wanted to talk about today. So
we can check our Soltia and
yeah,
one dot Soltia.
yeah, of course. It's let me check here. So this is the right domain, right?
Yep.
Cool. So I am checking for the desktop because I was showing the desktop for other websites. It takes some time, but bear with me. It will be okay now.
Maybe you can add one more tab saying that one dot Soltia, because Soltia one rarely used it, but one dot Soltia we use by.
Yeah, but one.soltia is our internal thing.
It's not okay.
So it's not that much
Okay.
yeah, cool. But let's check our website based on the core web vitals. We have really good FCP, which is less than 2.5 seconds. We have good LCP. We have 0 CLS score, because I think it's a Next.js thing, right? Cool. Because we are using Next.js, we are rendering the page on the server and we are returning only the HTML to our client. So
There is no shifting.
exactly, there is no shift between the layouts. But we have not really good score for TBT, or total blocking time, and that is something that we can fix by improving our server response time.
Right.
And that is it's an easy fix for us. We have really good accessibility score, 100, bravo. And you see that best practice is a 78, but if you toggle this off and you don't print any console logs on your prod version, you will have something like 85 something.
Yeah.
So that is also easy fix. Or even you can add your source maps to help the browser to just understand what is that short names that I talked before. What is the short name, and jump to the right function when it's needed. So SEO, we are really good. We have 100, so we are following every basic for search engine optimization here. Thank you all. So, any question? Cool. Thank you all. Then have a good day. Thank you so much.